Hey YouTube, Gundam here. Welcome back to Space Engineers. For the longest time now, I've been building something. First off, yes, I have a version of the Master Chief. Hello! But I've been working on a little something. There are 7 or so mods that I use to build it, but that's not the important bit. The important bit is what it is. Shall we find out? Yeah. I've been busy making a space station, a construction yard in space. For reference, this is a Mark I Sage Tower. A Sage Station, excuse me. That's Sage Station. And that, which is too big to get inside because this is more like a cruiser, or a small cruiser. Well, cruiser, frigate, destroyer, depends on who you talk to. This and this. You should recognize these two ships as the red ship that everyone sees in the game. Because that's exactly what it is. I just started up a new world, copied it, and here it is. Twice over. Just so you get an idea of just how big this thing is. So let's take a look at what we have. Inside here is the primary... I need to reduce the speed. That increased the speed. Alright, so in here is the primary control center. Plenty of consoles, displays, and some buttons. These buttons we'll get to in a minute. These buttons back here control the forward and rear hazard light emitters that are constantly spinning. Red, green, and blue, though you can change the blue ones to a different color if you want to quite easily. Now the hatch, which is a mod, by the way, the hatch is a mod down here. Here we are. The hatch leads down here, which is where the commander sits with the gravity generator and the medical facility with plenty of oxygen. Outside, you have the business. Well, some of it. First off, there are lights that you notice traveling one end to the other. Plenty of locations to support a vessel. You can remove some of those if you need to. That one you need to because it's a little big, but it's also a little tall, so it can't fit. That ship is a little just way too big. This area is designed more for like a destroyer or a frigate or something, depending on who you ask. Not really cruisers. That thing may not necessarily be a cruiser, but it also depends on who you ask. This is for very small ships, this facility. But it's also good supply facility for like mining operations, building mining ships and things like that. So, what you have, you come down these sides, you can either go on this small walkway there, or continue down. We'll go through here. In this door you have a couple of little windows to see what's currently being built, and you have the living quarters for the crew. Also, one of the windows is now blocked. The other window over there. So plenty of oxygen, of course. You have the refinery, conveyor, assemblers, things like that, medical facilities, and bunk beds. Plenty of bunk beds. This is another mod. Back outside and down through here we have the primary area for construction on this side of the station. This is the this is the right side. Those lights point towards the front, so that's the front over there. This is the right side of the station, or the starboard. This is for construction. This is where the overlooker is for building materials, building whatever it is you're building, and going from there. He's got good area of view, 2 large cargo containers, plenty of conveyors, and other smaller cargo containers. Down here is one of the resupply points for the station. This can extend out a good distance to dock a larger resupply ship. However, if the station's at a location where it can't quite get it, it can get materials on its own. Now, as you can clearly see, there's a significant amount of hydrogen cells on this thing. Because, well, hydrogen is quite useful. Now, if you head down this lower pathway, all the way down here, head through this airlock, you get to a large lower bay, which can dock 4 ships. A button panel over here controls 3 things. It controls the door, the interior lights, and exterior hazard lights, which you can see on this dock currently flashing. And you can see the yellow ones there on the bottom and the top, and the interior lights are supposed to be off. Oh no, it's the exterior lights that are off. Apology. We're going to continue looking through this side. Now, this upper area you can't actually get to, which is an intended thing. It's intended that you don't have access to this upper area. This is for cargo ships and tugs. You have to use your jetpack if you want to get up here. Now, there might be something a little later. I was intending there to be a ladder from there going straight up, but there aren't any ladders in the game, so I didn't even bother to put in the side unit. So, to take a look at what ships are recommended, we have this side. 3 Sojourner Mining Defense Coalition tugs. They're quite good tugs. Video on those coming soon. Very, very powerful at moving things around. And a significant amount of cargo vessels. 4 Pelican ships, non-atmospheric capable, and 2 atmospheric capable. They're practically the same thing, except for where on the side of this one there's these large atmospheric engines and lots of hydrogen thrusters along with the back. On this one, on the back, there's not, but there are a pair of Sage thrusters. On the inside, well, the inside of this, there would be 2 cargo containers, and there's a hydrogen fuel cell in here. And that's about it. Also, I think there's an oxygen generator. Yeah, that's a cargo container or an oxygen generator. It is a oxygen generator, I can tell. So there would only be 3 cargo units in here. Excuse me, not 3. There would be 2. There would be 2 units of cargo and 1 unit of hydrogen. And then oxygen. Why? Reasons. But that's it. 2 cargo, 1 hydrogen. That's not much. On the inside of this, well, if you can see it, you kind of see it there besides the gyros. On the inside of this, there are, I believe, well, there's a nuclear reactor. There's a large reactor right there. Yeah, there they are. There's one of them. So you have the 1, you have the 2, 3, and 4, and double the other side. So that's 8 medium cargo containers. That already is 4 times the atmospheric vessel. And there's a series of smaller cargo containers. So a lot more cargo, but it is non-atmospheric capable. And that is something that is important in this game. There are now hydrogen thrusters on those, but it's atmospheric capable, which is quite important. Now, as for the lower bay, where is it? There we are. You have 4 of the chisels. No, these are the chevrons, excuse me. The chevrons are welding vessels, but you have 4 of them. Quite capable. Now, this station is designed to have its own area to support the station. If you don't support the station, you have a problem. This is a lower area with 4 mini versions of the chisel. The chisel is a mining vessel. These 4 mini chisels are not that capable. You access this through the upper bay, by the way. Yeah, you gotta watch your step, but you should be quite intelligent to be in Sojourner, the SMDC. The chisels here, the mini chisels have almost no cargo and have a very limited range and only 1 drill. However, they do still have the same gravity system and collector, but there is, as you can see from the nuclear reactors on the side, very little in the way of protection. It's designed to be heavily supported, this facility, as there's almost no armament. So, well, that door's open. Okay. So, there is that. Now, one thing I wanted to show you up here. If we hit, let's see, piston long. Oh, I need to rename that. My bad. Rear left, rear right. So that should be rear left, rear right, front left, front right. Okay. Front left, front right, right? Front left, right, rear, right. Okay. Just double check. Okay, that doesn't want that. Okay, there we go. Okay, front left. We'll hit just that one. And this is one of the bonus abilities of this. This is why you can deal with a ship that is much, much larger. The station has extendable units. I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna remove that one ship because it's kind of in the way. It'll help with my frames per second as well. Also, I'm gonna get rid of the Sage Tower while I'm at it. Because if you have a larger ship, you can get rid of it with ease using that. We're just clearing this up a bit. And the Sage Tower. Goodbye. You already got a look at that. Yes, you just grab the red ship or the Sage Tower. You get an easy look on it. So, all four areas. This airlock, by the way, is another mod. There are several mods. I will do my best to find them and put them in the description at a later time. Here we are. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and extend the other 3 just so you get an idea of just how big this facility is. There's a few minor things that need to occur for this station to be complete. However, it is mostly done. On the top you can see the connectors for larger ships, in case you want to connect them there. Now, power supply is in the main spine. That's the primary power unit. In fact, that's almost the only one. And actually, I think it is. I think I forgot to put in that nuclear reactor I want to put in, the big one. I need to throw in a few minor tweaks here and there. So, yeah. But basically, this is done. So, I'm just waiting for those to extend. I gotta take them easy. One mod is pistons with some very large pistons. This extends it by 35 meters. This whole thing, when completely extended, is just under 300 meters long. That's not small. Like I said, for a very small amount of defense, you've only got 4 50mm quad guns. Or are they 53mm? Alright, I forget. Tools. 50mm quad gun turrets. You've only got the 4 of them, and they're sitting on these. I just realized I forgot something on there as well. Why not? What's supposed to be on there is this. A welder. Because welders are quite useful, and this thing has a tendency of breaking. So, yeah, I try my best to keep it from breaking. And this is like all my videos, right? I'm working on it while I build it. Why not? Stop that. Nah. There we go. So yes, the whole thing is just under 300 meters. I think it's about 272, 275 maybe. I can't remember. But frame rate is an issue, but that is probably because of fraps and Also because I've actually put in some ships. Now, one thing you can do, if you need to, is remove a bunch of docking clamps and only have the ones in the middle. By the way, there is another piston in the middle that will extend out the lower bay. Yep, I knew it. Oh, no, it's on the other side. Okay. It'll extend out the lower section. What that is, what that piston is, okay, is, well, it looks kind of weird, but it's a supply piston for a ship. You bring a small vessel in here, but bigger, and this extends down only a short distance to connect to it, and you're done. This whole facility is very, very capable. But yes, the whole facility requires 4 Chevron welding vessels, 4 mini chisel mining vessels, 4 Pelican non-Atmos dropships, 2 Pelican Atmos dropships, supply ships, excuse me, and 3 tugs. So 6 tugs, 8 non-atmospheric supply vessels, 4 atmospheric supply vessels, 8 welding ships, and 8 small mining ships. That is what it requires. This is only half. As for which way is front and which way is left and right, well, to figure out the front, that's easy. Look at the lights. See them racing each other? Yep. And that also tells you which way is your left and right. To make it a little bit easier, if you're in the control room and you're looking at the beacon, there's only one beacon right there. You got it. So, that's which way is the front. Also, there's the cockpit that way and button panels in the back, but not button panel in the in the front alone. Did I just say that? I have no sleep. So, the whole thing, very, very capable. I'm going to extend out and get a nice long view of the whole thing when it's extended. You could easily fit, lengthwise, when it's closed, you could fit 2 sage stations. When it's open, you could fit 3. Width and height, maybe 4, 6? It depends on the station. But yeah, it's very, very large. But it's completely meant for huge amount of defense. Because, well, it only has those 4 quad guns, and those quad guns need to be manually controlled. Now, this place is designed for a good-sized crew, but everyone's doing multiple jobs. You're either mining, or you're welding, or you're having the tugs, or the dropships. There's enough crew to run the ships on one side, and that's it. So I have 3 tugs, 4 of those, then those 6 supply ships. Basically, the whole thing comes with 16 people. The primary commander, the 2 other guys, and then a bunch of crew to do this. No, you can do it with just 4 people. If you have to. Or less. Whoever is the commander would be assisting in the build. I'm going to do a couple minor tweaks, and then I'm going to put up on the Steam Workshop. And I'm going to put up this video first. In my first build my first attempt at a construction yard, and yeah, it's a pain in the butt. But, hey, come on, it's my first time. Give me a break. Yeah, you're going to need a few mods. And shut those off. Okay. So, yeah. I haven't even put all the supply ships in. No, actually, no, I did. I put the tugs, the pelicans, and the Atmos pelicans. I mean, when it comes to, yeah. And by the way, in case you're wondering, yes, just in case it gets knocked around, thrusters. Now, the central area, a huge amount of cargo. All the way down. Conveyors in the middle. Cargo on the outer joint. Gyros here. Excuse me, no, the cargo isn't in all of it. Yeah, because that was a reactor back there. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Where the gyros are has the nuclear reactor. And a couple of other locations. Right, But there are cargo containers not there. Because, let's face it, you're building ships, you're going to need a lot of cargo. That is a huge amount of cargo. And then here's those nuclear reactors. So there's several nuclear reactors. But, well, there's a few gyros. There's not a lot, but there's a few. Yeah, you're not separated from that. Actually, you're not separated from that reactor at all. No, you are. I forgot. There's that there. So, yeah, there is the couple of reactors right there. If the thing explodes, which is easy, by the way, you're gonna do a lot of damage. How do you blow this thing up? Well, let's face it. You have 12 hydrogen tanks right there, 12 there, 12 over there, and 12 more there. Plus the spine is filled with nuclear reactors. Just aim for one of these central positions and you blow it up. Or aim for one of the hydrogen tanks. Just aim for the center there, there, or the middle, or those hydrogen tanks, and you blow up a huge chunk of the station. So, I'm going to put up on the workshop in just a bit. You do need one mod. The piston mod. You will need that mod or it will not connect. You don't need any of the others except for the doors are recommended because those are the airlock doors, you know. These things. I decided against that for the crew quarters because I wanted the crew to be able to get in and out a little faster. So I built that. And besides, I wanted them to have a little place to look while in atmosphere or not in atmosphere. Look at what they were building on. So yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. It's my first actual major build. And yes, as you can tell, there's several solar arrays. And there are plenty of batteries now. They were a late edition up here. And all around there. Just in case you need stuff. Yeah, you should have the Azimuth super mega mod pack or whatever it is he calls it, but Azimuth made a really big mod pack. I downloaded the big one and I use that. For most of my ships you're gonna need the Sage thrusters, so yeah, you know, you need a few mods, but it's not too bad. And this thing is huge. Well, catch you guys later, and yeah, I've got a bit more tweaking to do. See ya.